What's up, everybody? Everyone who's watching out there, it is your boy Limitless Mike. This is the Sports with Limitless Mike podcast. Today, I have a super special guest, a superstar in the making. He was definitely a superstar, but he's going to new heights in the making. He is a track and field athlete, and he goes by the name of Kunle Akinlosotu. Now, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Just happy to do this interview right before I go to practice. So.
Ooh, what time practice at?
1:30.
1:30.
So
Yep. So we got to get it in. So let's start here. Where are you from?
So I was born in Seattle, Washington, but I was raised in Federal Way area, and I also did track in Tacoma. So I was all around, but the base was around the Seattle, Washington area.
For sure. And as you're coming up in Seattle, in Federal Way, what sports did you do?
So I did basketball in middle school, track, football. I did all three of those sports in middle school. And then around high school, it just transitioned to just football and track. And then around, I think, towards the end of my junior year, I just decided to quit football and pursue track all the way.
Why did you quit football? What's going on?
Man, it used to be my passion. I was really passionate about football, but I realized that I did not have the mental capacity, I'd say, to tackle people and do all that because I was always thinking about track. Because one bad hit and that can ruin your whole career. So I feel like in football, you have to have a certain mental state to say, okay, I can get hurt badly, but I don't really care. I'm going to go out and do it. So there's that. And then I found that I had more opportunity in track. I knew I was more talented when it came to track and field. So it was a no-brainer to just kind of pull all my cards in and go in for track. So
do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do. So I'm the youngest of five. My sister that's older, that's 3 years older than me. She actually did track and field as well. She trained under Nate as well. She went to Washington State University first on scholarship, and then she later transferred to Loyola University to finish out her career.
And was it I guess for the football, for the basketball, for the track, was it a family thing? Did your dad sign you up? Was it because of your brother or sister? Or how'd you even get into sports?
Yeah. So sports has always been a part of my life and definitely a part of my family's life. I know all of us did track at some point, but we kind of all went different paths. I know for me, I was doing track since I was 7 years old. And it was kind of something I got into because of my PE teacher. Yeah. Initially, he was just saying I was fast and I should try it out. And so I just tried it out and I was good at it. So it was around seventh grade that I started going to Nate. And then Nate said, oh, you should triple jump. I'm all what's triple jump? And then, of course, started training me and the rest is history.
That's what he says to everyone. Hey, you should triple jump. You should triple jump. Some people are like, yeah, and then some people are like, no, bro, I can't do it. Okay, so did you say it was, how old were you when that PE teacher said run track or that you could be good?
Yeah, it was 7 years old.
So 7 years old.
Grade. Yeah.
And then from there, did you guys do club track? Did you just do it through the school or how'd that go?
It was just straight through the school. Around when I was in seventh grade, that's when I started. Probably a year prior, my sister actually joined the team, Flying AJs. And my dad just kind of said, after a year, you need to go do that because he saw opportunity in it as well. And of course, we both got scholarships just training off from Nate. So it was definitely a good investment.
Were you competitive when you were young? When they said you were fast, when you heard were you fast, were you out there trying to race kids at PE?
Of course, man. In elementary, there's always a title of fastest kid in the school. I was always going for that. Always trying to race someone who tried to challenge that. So it was definitely, I've always been competitive when it came to that type of stuff, for sure.
Okay, okay. And you mentioned that you over time, you stopped playing those other sports. What was the moment when you were like, okay, I want to focus on track, or I can do this? Like, was there any moments like that?
Yeah, definitely. It was around like, I would say February of like 2019. Yeah. It was my junior year, and we went to the Meet Simplot games in Idaho, and we were doing like preliminaries, and the mark that you had to get to go to the next round was like 41-1 or something. And you only got 3 jumps. So you go, if you didn't make it, you go again. So the very first jump, I jumped probably like 4 feet behind the board, and I still cleared the 41 mark. So I'm all like, okay, hold up. I just did that. What if I was on the board? What if I actually like had everything together? What then? So from then on, I'm like, okay, yeah, I should really stick with triple jump and just see where it goes.
Mm. Prior to that, so that was junior year, correct?
That was my junior year, yeah.
So when you were doing it before, was it like apparent that you were good? Did you show signs of talent? Was there a learning curve for you?
Right. So it's weird. So initially when I started track, I was faster than most kids around my age. And then around middle school, I just kind of like slowed down. Like I started falling back behind everybody. And that kind of carried on to high school too. In just terms of how I was running, I wasn't as fast as other kids. But what I did find was I was naturally athletic when it came and strong when it came to stuff like that. With triple jump, it's a very special sport. Like you have to be strong enough to be able to get out of phases and just be able to do the actual thing. I've seen people and heard stories of people who break their legs off of doing triple jump. So it's definitely a hard sport. And obviously, I've made it this far because it wasn't necessarily because of my speed, but it was because of my strength. Like if you go back to like my high school jumps, you would just see me, I would be jumping on my toes. And of course, with triple jump, you want to be able to get the power from like the mid part of your foot rather than your toes. You want to be able to strike the ground at a particular angle. So if you're able to I was able to produce power based off of just jumping off my toes. So it's like I had natural strength, and that just kind of carried on. I feel like the speed now is starting to come. Now I'm in college. I'm able to run more and get more technical with the stuff, but definitely I think strength, just being naturally strong is my biggest asset.
Okay, I love to hear it. What was your progression like throughout high school? So what did you jump freshman year?
Yeah, freshman year I jumped 41,175.
All right.
It was a solid mark for sure. And I finished out the whole season. Sophomore year, I jumped 43.3, but I didn't finish the season. I had to stop because I was having something going on with my quad. So I feel like I would have been able to go further, but 43.3 was the end. And then junior year, I jumped 46.5. I also didn't finish junior year because I ended up being hospitalized for an ulcer. So junior year, it was mid-season, and I'm just trying to push through the pain in my ankle, but it's been bothering me. So I ended up taking ibuprofen. And of course, as an athlete, a young athlete, you're not thinking about the safety when it comes to medicine and everything. You're thinking about competing and getting stuff done. So I was just taking ibuprofen at probably 3 a day. And of course, when I was in high school, I didn't eat breakfast. So that was a recipe for disaster when you're not eating with medicine and when you're taking excess amount. So I ended up having an ulcer. I was hospitalized for maybe 3 or 4 days. and that took me out of the whole entire season. Initially, like I would have been able to come back like after recovery and everything, but they found that my heart was inflamed, and they had speculation that it was heart disease. It was hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, and so they had to monitor me for about 4 months, and it was scary. I thought I would never go back to track, but with that, I wasn't able to finish the season, but that was like potential built up for the next season that I didn't jump that. I was able to rest. And by the time I came back, maybe in like September, I had a new mindset. I was ready to grind and make up for the loss. So senior year, I ended up jumping 50 feet 5. And of course, COVID hit too. So I was, I didn't get to like finish out the season. So that was 3 seasons I didn't get to finish out. But I was able to get to that point because I had a new mindset. I was working hard. Even during lockdown, I was able to get it done. And
what was the new mindset? Like, what was going through your head?
I mean, junior year, I did get arrogant. I was starting to like get a big head because I was starting to get offers. I remember Nate came up to me and told me, hey, the Stanford coach is looking at you. You just have to like jump a certain feet, a certain mark, and just get a certain score on your SAT. My GPA was already straight. And Stanford was literally my dream school since I was like 5. Like I was telling everybody, I'm going to Stanford. I'm going to Stanford. So like hearing that, it's like, okay, I'm about to accomplish my dreams. You can't really talk to me. You can't really mess with me. So that was the type of mindset I had all junior year. And then when I got the ulcer, it like really rocked my world and let me know that your life, for one, it could be, you could be living one day and the next day you could be dead. And then 2, this athletic thing that we call track and field is not promised. You can, like that, just it can be taken away for any reason. So you have to appreciate that. And that kind of, that everything kind of just threw me into like the Christian faith and like finding God more. And it really did change my mindset about how to be a humble person and how to just move. So I was humbled. I was just able to work harder because I knew that it could be taken away. And that kind of like set the groundwork for a really good senior year.
For sure. Okay. I hear you, and I agree. And it can definitely get like that in track where, you go out, you progress. People start to, hey, good job. You get, you're smiling, you're getting the medals. People are kind of, you're the man, you get school. So it's a weird sport where it's easy to get a big head because you can get so much praise. At least at the track meets, you can get so much praise. And then, like you said, an injury or being sidelined, it can just kind of bring you back down and refocus you. So
right, exactly.
That's crazy. What else? Anything else that that's a huge progression. That is I know you got bigger, I know you got stronger, I know you just grew, into essentially manhood, but that's still a huge progression to go from 41 feet to 50 feet. Most people don't even jump 50 feet. So to jump that in high school, is there anything else that you would say kind of got you there? Like any drills or anything that you did that got you there?
Yeah. Honestly, when it comes to athletics, people always say work hard and you'll get to where you need to be. That sometimes isn't true. Sometimes you just have to have the natural ability. And I definitely have natural ability because if you go back to my videos, like the way I'm jumping, it shouldn't be possible to go like 50 feet. It's not like, it's just me like powering through the jumps because I'm so strong. That's not to say I'm not working hard. I busted my butt to get to where I'm at, but I made up for it because I made up for the speed that I was lacking in high school because of my strength. And I'd say for a lot of people, it's just about natural ability. When you have that natural ability and then you have that mindset to work hard, that's when everything's come together to like really for something special to happen.
Okay, so it low key goes back to mom and dad.
Right, right. And as you
Okay.
can see, Niger flag, both my parents are from Nigeria. So um, I'm blessed to have the Nigerian genes, and a lot of great athletes are Nigerian. So
Yep.
yeah.
What do you know what brought them to the States?
Better opportunity, man. America for sure is something, and I know living here, sometimes we can forget how blessed we are to be in a country where you can go out today and start working, and then in a year you could be a millionaire. Like it's just a matter of how you move and how your work ethic. So they saw better opportunities for themselves and for their future kids, and of course we took advantage of that, and we are definitely blessed to be here.
Lit. I guess I'm Nigerian as well. When and for anyone who doesn't know, we trained under the same coach, just years apart. And I interviewed the coach, and he brought you up, and he essentially said the same thing. He was just like, "You're super powerful," and he said, "You Nigerians are just strong." And I laughed. I was like, "Yeah, I guess I better go, reach out to my fake cousin after this. I better go try to interview you after this." After he said
Yeah,
that.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's definitely a blessing, and I don't know. You'll see me rep it every day.
Got to. Now,
Yeah.
what was it like competing, your senior year and then COVID hit? What was that experience like?
Like coming in from junior year after that whole experience, it's like, okay, breakout year. This is the year I'll get all my offers, everything. And so it started off at like this event called Leap Fest in Cali. And I won the event jumping 47.4 or something, basically about a foot PR. And from then on, every meet after I was PRing by about a foot. So after Leap Fest, I jumped at UW. I jumped 48 feet. And then after UW, I jumped at Simplot again. I jumped 49 feet. So every meet I was progressing. I was making up for the time and what I lost my junior year. So 49 feet, I'm all like, okay, 50's next. And this was in February, keep in mind. And then, so I was set to go to New York for New Balance, one of the biggest high school meets you can go to. And all the big players were going to be there. All the dudes that was already, I think there was one dude, his name is Sean. He was already jumping 52 or something. And then there was another dude that jumped 49. But I was third in the nation at the time. So it was going to be everybody that was like really good was going to be there. And I knew that if I went to that meet, I would have jumped 50 indoor. But of course, the day prior to leaving to New York, they canceled it because of COVID. And I was so mad. It really sucked. But I mean, everybody went through something. Everybody lost something. But there was like an interval time. I think it was so it was like March was New Balance. And then that's when they canceled. And that's, of course, when lockdown happened. And then I didn't get another opportunity to jump until July. So within that time frame, I was still trying to train with Nate. At some points, like we couldn't train because they were so strict with lockdown. But towards like the end, I was able to get a little bit of training. And along with the training I was doing at home, in my basement, just getting done, I was able to like still stay fit and be ready when the next meet came. So July came around and it was in Las Vegas. They only gave us 4 jumps. The first 3 jumps didn't go so well. I think I jumped it was like a scratch 48, 47. It wasn't good. And then it came down to my last jump. And I started hyping myself up. I started clapping. I got everybody pumped. I got a video on it. I can show you later. But basically, I was screaming. And then I went out, did the jump. And of course, like I said, the form wasn't good. But I still got it done. I knew it was my last chance to jump something for colleges. Because at the time, I was already getting looked at by Oregon and Texas Tech, but I wanted to like solidify like a really good offer. So I said, okay, let me jump this 50 and secure that. So yeah.
Was that the only outdoor meet that you did that year?
Yeah. So I did. I mean, Leap Fest in the beginning of the year. That was it was like an anomaly. I don't know why, but they had a outdoor meet in January. It's because it was Cali and they could do it.
Yeah.
But technically, it was my second outdoor meet. But that was my first like outdoor meet.
I'm gonna say that's the first. That was, to me, from my perspective, that was the first and the only outdoor meet of the season. Right. And even, I mean, you said that you jumped a 48 and a 47. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I know you have high standards. We all have super high standards for ourselves, but even at 48 and 47, yeah, you're getting those looks, you're getting those offers. Now, 50 is a different ballpark. 50 is that I'm here, I'm the man. But even at 48, 47, that's no slouch. So that's crazy to just have basically 4 outdoor jumps and they're, a scratch, 48, a 47, and 50. That's
yeah. I mean, when the time comes, you got to make it count. Definitely did that moment for those 4 months or 4 or 5 months. So I was ready.
And let's talk about what was the recruitment process like? Now you go to Oklahoma. Like, who else was recruiting you?
Yeah, so there was a couple schools. I was talking to like UC Berkeley, UCLA, Northern Arizona University, and I was just like talking. But the schools that actually like called me up and like try to offer me were the University of Oregon and University of Texas, Texas Tech University, and then right after I jumped 50, that's when the University of Oklahoma's jumps coach hit me up. It was like literally the day after.
Yeah.
And so it was like Oregon. That was my first choice for sure. I honestly, prior to the meet, my mind was basically already made up that I'd go there. But with that, I wasn't trying to pay for school at all. I didn't want my parents to pay for school at all. And Oregon wasn't going to give me the money I needed to like get everything taken care of. Texas Tech, they were like, since it was like so late in the year, they were scrapping everything together, academics, all that, to see if they can hook me up with that. And then, regardless, I don't know, my mind was still made up on Oregon. I said, I'll figure it out. But of course, I still like had that in the back of my head. I don't want my parents paying for anything. So University of Oklahoma came into the play, and they gave me basically everything I needed to, except for the first year I had to pay for housing because they had their own people they were bringing back because of COVID and everything. But I made sure that everything else for the rest of my years were paid for. And so I'm good. My parents aren't paying for anything. And of course, it's been a good experience. I kind of vibe with the coach initially when we had our first conversation. He brought up anime. He knew I was learning Japanese and everything. He knew I liked anime. So we were just talking about that stuff. And he's just a good person overall. Like he's genuine and he cares about you. So I got a very good vibe from him. So everything just kind of clicked up, and Oklahoma just seemed like the obvious answer.
Mm-hmm. They got it done. It sounds like they got everything you needed and they got it done. No Washington schools were reaching out to you?
I got some funny stories about Washington, UW particularly. They offered me books, and I found that very disrespectful.
I saw that video. I watched that video, and it made me laugh, and that's why I had to ask. But I mean, it wouldn't have, from my perspective, it wouldn't have worked out regardless. It's like, it's a blessing. They haven't ever had a crazy good jumps program to me. They're a distance school. It would have been cool to go to UW, blah blah blah, but it's like they're set up for distance, and then they kind of field around that. So I don't know if it would have been the best place for you, depending on
Yeah,
what the goals are.
definitely not. And in addition to that, I was dead set, I think, since I was like a freshman in high school that I was trying to get out of the state. I knew I was like, I don't know, I was tired of Washington. I was tired of the rain. I was tired of just the same old, and I wanted something new. So getting out of the state, even if they did offer me a good scholarship, I don't think I would have went anyways.
Yeah, I understand. I can definitely understand that. Now,
Yeah.
what is some of the difference between you did high school track, you did club track, you worked with a great coach? What's the difference between that and then D1 track?
Um, for sure, there's more of a workload as a college athlete. We're training 5 days a week. In high school, we were only training 3 days a week, and we're jumping like significantly less in high school. I think with Nate, I'd only jump on Sundays, and it'd only be like 4 jumps that we'd take. In college, we jump like twice a week, and we take more than 4 jumps. So the workload is definitely there, and of course, the coaching style is definitely different. Nate has his own way of coaching, and then my coach that I have now has his own way of coaching. And it was apparent too when I first came, because I struggled for the first year, like throughout the year, because we were trying to change different things. I was relearning things through my coach's eyes rather than Nate's eyes. So it's definitely workload and coaching, I'd say, for sure.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I guess I'm saying the same thing, but we both worked with a high level coach. And then when you get to college, you're just under someone new. You have new time, new teammates, everything's so new that there is kind of like as much as you're just running or just jumping, there is kind of a slight learning curve there. So, yeah. Now, this is a random one, but who's the best triple jumper that's gone to Oklahoma?
Will Clay, man.
Will Clay? Did he
Will
have
Clay.
any influence on you going there?
That's the thing. I didn't actually know until like I already signed, and I just thought that was kind of like I don't know, not necessarily. I guess a fate thing. It's like that's dope. Like if I knew he would have signed, that definitely would have pushed me to like say, oh yeah, Oklahoma for sure. But yeah, he came for 1 year, his freshman year. Dude came and broke all the records and then jetted to Florida. So I think his outdoor record is 56 and then indoors 55. So it's definitely cool to know that he came through. Just makes you feel like you're a part of something great for sure.
He never pulls back up.
I don't know, man.
He never shows he don't show no love.
You know what? Freshman year, I remember I posted something and I said, "Coming for your record" at Will Clay, and he reposted it. So I'll give it to him. Like he acknowledged Oklahoma again. So.
Yeah. Okay. And what was you told that a lot of your high school seasons got cut short, but what was your favorite track meet in high school that you went to?
High school. Jeez. It's got to be the 50 feet.
Yep.
In Las Vegas. It was AAU meet. That feeling was surreal because Nate actually had been telling me since I was a 8th grader, James, because I used to go by James, but he'd be like, James, you're gonna go 50 feet. You're gonna go 50 feet. Like he would always say that. And so just having him believe in me, like made it really, like I really wanted to prove him right, like regardless of the situation, regardless of COVID. So by the time I jumped 50 feet that day, it like my whole high school goal was realized. It was like I remember calling him right away after, like, Guess how far I jumped? He's like 49, and I'm like, no, 50 feet, and he's like, really, really? It's like just this was an amazement. We were both like, just like, wow, we really did it.
He
So
wasn't there?
nah, he wasn't there. I forgot what the reason he wasn't there, but
Did you travel with anyone else that time?
yeah. So what is it? Alpha Speed Academy became like the dominant thing. Like Nate transferred to Alpha Speed Academy, so I did too. And so I went with the new coach, Sarah, and she was there. And then there was a few parents there as well. So it was, and my dad was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and for that, like, had you worked with Sarah a lot, or did you kind of do everything alone that day? Or
no, Sarah was definitely there. She helped me. She helped me watch my mark, and eventually, like after my third jump, I was stressed out. Like I was mad that because the meet was already like going. Some track meets be like unorganized. So like we were supposed to jump at probably like 8:00. We ended up jumping at like 12 or something. So I was really like mad.
Warm up?
Right. And I woke up probably around 6 a.m. Not even 6 a.m., like 4 a.m. because Nate was telling me that for your body to like really be like awake, you gotta wake up probably like 4 hours earlier. Mm-hmm. I forgot what he said, but I woke up early. So I was already like very frustrated with how the meet was going. The fact that I missed my 3 jumps, I didn't jump what I want. I was like very in my head. So Sarah pulled me to the side. She said, calm down. You got one more jump. That really did help. I just sat down. I was chilling. And then, got the 4th jump in.
Okay. Shout out to Sarah and shout out to Nate for that.
Yeah.
Now, you practiced a lot. What is your worst practice memory? I'll give you one just as an example. So it's a holiday time. It's Christmas break, essentially. I come back. I go to Nate. He makes me run either 3. I was a 400-meter runner. He makes me run 3 or 4 300 meters at Curtis High School, and my whole body cramps up all the way to my neck. I'm laying down, and my whole body's in cramps. And that is one of my most memorable. There's some others that are bad, but that's a bad one. What about for you? One day that it was bad.
There's a lot. Off the top of my head, I remember like this was like early with training with Nate, so I didn't really know Nate like that. So I ate like a bag of Cheetos right before. And we were doing like, I don't know, 150s or 200s. And I remember after a few, I just started throwing up, and I don't even think I finished the workout. It was bad.
Did your diet change after that day?
Yeah, it definitely changed. Nate's always on my butt about like diet and everything. I called him up probably like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, you need to be eating this, this, and that. And it's like sometimes it's hard to like follow through because, of course, like even now, like just being in a diet hall, and of course, a lot of the things he recommends is very expensive. I mean, a clean diet isn't a cheap diet, so sometimes it's hard to like follow through. But man just knows what he's talking about.
He does
for a minute,
and it's hard when you're younger. Like now you're getting to a point where you have more control of your diet. But, when you're in high school, it's hard. What are you going to say? You're going to tell your mom and dad, like, no, we have to eat these. If you don't have a job, you're not buying your own groceries. That's a hurdle right there. In college, there's another hurdle. So as you go, your diet will improve. That's funny though. What was that Oklahoma gear like? You've competed. You probably got the Simplot backpack, so you've gotten the gear. But what was the Oklahoma gear like?
I mean, it was definitely dope to like just be a part, get a lot more gear than I would usually get, and of course, getting like dope backpacks like this, which did.
Oh man!
First, but the bag I have now, it says Kunle, Akinlosotu. Like it's very nice. I love how like everything's like tailored to you. Of course, you can like just go into the like the gear room and be like, hey yo, can I get a pair of shoes? Mine are busted. like in high school, you couldn't do that. You had to stick with the same pair of shoes for like 3 to 4 years. So like it's cool just having that access to all the gear you need, in the
How many
sport.
jump spikes do you have now?
Too many, man. I think I got like
Go back there,
3.
like, oh, I need a new pair for this meet.
Right. It's like I mean, like it, like for Nike, they don't make their spikes to last really. So like you can only use it for about a year before they get worn down. So yeah, usually I have to go back and ask for new spikes and stuff.
Now, don't slander anybody because, some of these people might have a check for you. But who is your favorite? Who had the best jump spikes?
And I'd say Adidas, man.
Adidas?
Adidas got that like good base, but at the same time, Nike got that look. I don't know that I wish it can come together for something special, but they never really seem to get it right on either side. Oh, geez. Yeah. I need some tissue right quick. I'll be
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. And what's one piece of advice you would have to, let's say a ninth grader, someone who wants to get to where you are? What's to give them some advice?
For sure. I'd say you have time for sure. One thing that I kept on that like really was that made me like feel like I couldn't get to the level I'm at right now is because I was looking at where I was at in that moment. Especially like just with drills and everything and bounding, I like was terrible at it. It was hard to like do things because I don't know. For me, it takes a long time to like really learn something. And so just knowing that knowing what I know now, I wish I knew like just wait, like stay down, work hard, do what you have to do, but just know it will take time. Like everybody's on the different timelines. I know for sure I was looking at everybody across like the nation and I'll be like, oh, this freshman or this sophomore is jumping XYZ, like 49 feet, where I'm not doing that yet. I'm only jumping 49, 43. And that did like severely hurt my mental health. But knowing that I was able to get this far just because I waited, I was able to work hard and then eventually came into my body and I was able to start utilizing my strengths. That's what makes me realize like, yo, if you're young, you got time, and you got to know that everybody's on different timelines. So yeah, just stay down, work hard, do what you have to do now, and your hard work will pay off eventually.
For sure. I like that. So it sounds like work hard, be patient.
Yeah.
For sure. What's your favorite anime?
I grew up on Naruto. I've been watching that since I came out the womb, bro. It was always on, but I don't like how mainstream it is right now. I really don't like it. Everybody will always repeat. You said what?
It's too popular. It's too
popular. It's too popular for me. So if I had to say something that I feel like is more low key but still good anime, I'd say Samurai Champloo. I don't know if you heard about that, but
no, I'm not on too many, but I know you are, but I'm not on too many. So I'm trying to learn from you. I'm taking that. I'm gonna go watch that tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And is that how you learn Japanese?
Honestly, I don't be watching anime as much as I used to. And initially when I was watching it, you can only learn so much from anime. So I'm actually minoring in Japanese right now. So I've already finished most of the classes. I have one more to complete my minor. Of course, in high school, I did like a Japanese or middle school. I did a Japanese class in Seattle. And then high school, I was able to take some courses at my local community college. So I've been learning it for a minute now. Yeah.
You got any plans on going down there?
I was trying to go this past summer, but Japan is very strict when it comes to COVID. I think they're like the strictest country in the world.
Mm.
Just like, so I had a study abroad. I applied to everything. It looked like it was about to go through. And they just said, okay, we can't do it anymore. It's canceled. So I'll try to do it this summer. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you got time. Now, as you go, as your seasons go, I'm sure you have goals to continue to jump outside of college. Now, would you rather compete for the U.S. or compete for Nigeria as a pro?
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Nigeria. You always got to go back and give to where, like, acknowledge your roots. But of course, I was born in America, so and if I had to say it, this is my home. I still don't know yet where I want to what I want to do about it, but I'm gonna wait till the time comes for
For
sure.
sure. And I've seen people, just to throw this out there are people who've done both. So, you don't necessarily have to. You can do one and then do the other just as time goes.
That's facts. That's facts.
What made you get into YouTube and vlogging and all that?
Yeah. Um, I kind of knew that my particular situation was unique, just with a Nigerian, be born in America, learning Japanese, doing track and field. You don't really see that much. I remember seeing like a YouTuber. His name is Devin Morrison. Um, Basically, it's a black. He does like music now. His music is good too, but he made like vlogs about just being in Japan and just him speaking Japanese, and that was the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think I can, like, if I go back, if I recall, like, I watched like all of his videos like several times over because I just enjoy seeing someone that looks like me speak Japanese. So I thought um, I can inspire people just like he inspired me. I thought it was dope to see that. So I said, okay, I got the Japanese aspect. Why not do track and field? Because people want to see that aspect as well of a Division I college athlete. So everything just kind of came together, and I try to use the platform to inspire people that look just like me.
For sure. I love it. What are some of your goals for your YouTube?
Uh, Definitely just keep growing it. I'm not. I know. Eventually, I know that the topics of Japanese and like track and field don't really align. Like, I could see, it's obvious that my track and field posts get more like views and likes than my Japanese posts. So I'm thinking like maybe eventually I'll split off and like create a separate channel of me just doing Japanese related content. And then as far as I go with track and field, I'll keep posting it on that channel, and just see how far it goes. But the end goal is literally just to inspire as many people as possible.
For sure. So you want to inspire generations.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
have any advice for anyone who wanted to start a YouTube?
Yeah. Just stay consistent and just start. Just start. A lot of people, I literally, you don't know how many people I'm sure you get it a lot. They'd be like, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to start it. I'm going to do it one day. And they just never get started. So they just overthink it, or they just don't really have that true desire to start it. So just starting, all you need is your phone. Especially if you got an iPhone, that's a very good, because camera phones are getting so good these days. Like, you can't even tell us there's a difference from like an actual camera. So just using your smartphone and just getting started, because yeah, you never know where it can take you. People are making money off of this stuff and really really making an impact on their generation.
Most definitely. You've done some interviews as well. Do you have a favorite interview that you've done?
Uh, as far as me interviewing someone or
Yeah.
uh, I've only done one with Vernon Turner. Yeah, yeah. Not one that I can think of. Yeah, but this was recent. This was about 2 months ago. But Vernon is a high jumper on the team, national champ, like 7-time All-American. Dude is doing his thing. Came back for another year to like get what's his. He wants all indoor, outdoor, get it all. So it was just dope to like pick his brains and find out what it takes to be like on that level, to be a national champ. So it was fun to interview because, of course, I can put that out and let people know how it is, what it takes. But at the same time, I was learning. I was there just like, okay, this is
some of your takeaways from interviewing him. What makes him special?
I think him as a person, he's very down to earth. He's humble. So I really respect that because at the end of the day, this is people jumping into a pit. This is people jumping over a bar. This is people running a certain amount of distance. It's what you do with that platform. Like anybody can do sports and everything, but if you get to that position, it's what you do with that platform to impact people in a positive way. So I just really admire the way he holds himself. And of course, it's just I think that's the biggest takeaway, just the way you hold yourself. And when you get to that position, you just use it for good.
Cool. Now, do you want to put out any goals that you have for this year or for this track season?
Yeah. So senior year, I was very big on goals. Like I'd write them down. I would tell everybody all that. But over these past 2 years, I've kind of like shifted my mindset. Goals are great. Goals are very great. But when you set goals and you don't reach them, it could be detrimental to the way you think and your mental health and everything, and just how you try to go about completing them. So what I've realized is that I just kind of have a general goal of being the best version of me, getting to jump the best distance that I can. So like, for example, freshman year, I had a goal to jump 53 feet. I was thinking, since I didn't get my full senior year, I had all this built up potential. And of course, coming into college, I would be able to just build off of that. But it didn't happen. Sophomore year, same thing. I had a similar goal to jump 53, 54 feet. It didn't happen. And what I realized is that every time I'd go into the meet, I'll be thinking of those goals. And when I didn't meet them, it would just be like, it would hurt really bad. It would hurt really bad. And it would be very discouraging. So as far as this season, my goal is just to be the best version of me. There's no specific mark that I'm trying to reach. I know that there's still a lot of built up potential, but of course, like I said earlier, everybody's on their own timing. I will jump what I need to jump when the time comes.
I respect that, and I love that because, like you said, you can be taking so much built up energy, but sometimes to perform, you just got to relax and just let it be. So yeah. I definitely respect that. Now I got a couple quick questions for you. Indoor or outdoor season?
Outdoor, definitely.
Long jump or triple jump?
Triple jump, all the way.
100 or 400?
100.
Home or away meets?
Away.
Simplot games or state meet?
Simplot.
Oklahoma or Washington?
Oklahoma. I mean, no, wait, hold on. Okay. Because I grew up in Washington, I got tired of Washington. But if I take a step back, Washington is better.
And we're about to wrap. I know you got practice. I know you're a very, very busy man. But now, what is it like being at the University of Oklahoma? I've never been to Oklahoma. I've traveled a lot, but I've never been there. Is it what's it like?
Yeah. So of course, like on the West Coast, you have so many perceptions about like the South and just this area of I don't know, like people riding on horses and just all this stereotypical things that you'll hear. But it's normal. Of course, there's parts in the state where you'll find that, but like particularly in Norman, the college town, it's normal. It's like anything else that you would see in any other state, and particularly being a part of OU's athletic program is really dope because so many people, athletes have come through this program, and they literally have been making ripples in their respective events and sports, such as like Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. They all came through OU, and of course Will Clay. And so just that culture of being at one of the top athletic programs in the nation, it's been a blessing, and I really enjoy the culture here because it just makes me want to work harder every day.
I love it. I love it. And with that, we are going to wrap. Let people know where they can find you on YouTube, on Instagram, and all that.
Okay. So for Instagram, Twitter, you can find me at Kunle, Akinlosotu, all lowercase. And then YouTube, my name is just simply Kunle, Kunle. And Snapchat is Kunle, Kun, Kunle_KUN.
Cool, yeah. Man. I appreciate you so much. I hope the best for you this season. I just want to thank you for your time. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, man. It's a blessing to stop the recording.
Appreciate it.
Oh, hold on one second.